So let's get started with a basic question. You were trying to find the right help. You couldn't. So off the top of your head, you were like, let's make a website for this.
Yeah, well, there were a few steps in between. Basically, it all started, as you said, with a personal experience of finding the right domestic helper for us. And I went through friends' recommendations, through employment agencies, and I had a tough time to find the right person. Well, finally, it worked out well, and I got the right helper, which is still with us today. But when she started with us, I learned that she had to pay legal placement fees to the agency. So after all of this, I had this kind of bitter feeling that the whole industry was unethical and inefficient at the same time. So, well, I started to realize that I could maybe do something and do something meaningful, contribute to Hong Kong society. And as I have a tech background, I started to code the first version of the website. It was very basic in the beginning.
Did you ever have experience with computer codings and websites?
Yeah,
okay.
I do, because I'm an engineer educated in France. And yeah, I studied mathematics and programming, although I was not a web developer, but like I read some tutorials.
So helperchoice.com, how is it doing in terms of revenue? How are you starting to make profits? Is it growing?
Yeah, it is, actually. So it's been around for 3 years already. And the revenue we're making for now is based on membership subscribed by employers. So one of our core values is to be free for helpers. It's very important for us to be fair to them, because that's also the reason why we started this adventure. And yeah, it starts to be profitable, but we're investing more and more to grow. So
I've heard that you wanted to get into the Middle East, other parts of Asia. Where do you see most potential?
Well, there are a lot of countries around here where domestic helpers are employed. So for now, we are pretty much focused on Hong Kong. 80% of our business is done here. But we started to expand to other countries, Dubai, Singapore, and other countries in the Middle East. For us, it's quite important also to expand to Middle East, because there were a couple of bad stories there. And we also see
abuse towards
abuse, mistreatments. Right. And we also see our website as the way to empower helpers through technology to help them make their own choices when looking for an employer.
How are you different from other ordinary recruitment agencies, and do you still work with them?
Yeah, we do work with them. Well, we do work with the ones that we feel are good and ethical. So basically, we talk to them first and have them sign an ethical charter. And well, I think we are pretty different from them. In Hong Kong, in particular, the market is quite fragmented, with over 1,000 employment agencies dedicated to domestic helpers. So it means that, in average, every agency only places about 200 helpers a year. And we see ourselves much bigger than that. Our database already reached more than 50,000 domestic helpers. So we are looking to place much more helpers, actually, a year.
I guess just briefly, how do you ensure the transparency of your site, employers and people who are employed there?
Yeah, so you mean the trust, in a way?
Yes.
Yeah. So the helpers actually upload their self-assessed profiles, and employers can post their job ads. But for me, it's not really a problem. I mean, today, in any industry, who would hire someone just based on the resume or an online profile? Of course, you have to do the whole hiring process, and then see the person, interview her, make sure that she's the right fit. So, yeah, there is a lot of transparency compared to traditional employment agencies.
So how many matches have you made so far, or how many are you making?
We are making about 300 a month.
300?
300 matches a month.
Okay, that's a big number, and it's expected to grow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.